Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's me, Shlee Binesi here. I welcome you with my love and respects. And in today's video, I guess I wanted to get into comparisons, and why we compare things and why we have polarity and opposites, and where are your focal points with the things that you have interest in that you make comparisons based on for whatever it is that you do in your life. So in today's video, I guess I wanted to go into some comparisons about certain things and why I use them and why I make one decision over the other. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to get right into that with you guys today in this video. So stay tuned. So, and being as this is an occult related subject and my channel is primarily occult oriented, I guess we'll go into comparisons about astrology or what kind of worker I am. So I guess that being said, I'm predominantly a water sign, and my opposites are earth signs. So I guess we can make some comparisons based on that, and why I choose to stick within the parameters of means that I do in relation to everything that I do. So why do I choose the Gothic aesthetics, lifestyle choices, over hip hop culture, let's compare it to that. I guess I really appreciate the mentality that goes along with my aesthetic choices, that ties into the mentality connected to the aesthetic choice. So if I was to compare that to hip hop culture versus, whatever. I guess it's just the mentality that surrounds the values and principles of how people behave, how they choose to spend their time, it's kind of like one of those things. It's like a really weird concept, I guess you could say, maybe, I don't know, maybe not, I have no idea. So back to the astrology point I was going to make. So I'm a water sign. My opposites are predominantly earth signs, and I guess I can bring it back to the intricacies involved around the occult and within astrology. So people that I don't really connect well with are usually air signs. Fire signs, I kind of have a middle ground with them. It's really interesting too. There's so many of these comparisons and differences that we can make and make connections to based on wherever our interests are. So I thought I would bring up astrology as being a good example, and then kind of why I choose the aesthetics as to the lifestyle that I lead, and that kind of ties into astrology. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then I guess I could tie it into social media platforms that I decide to use versus the other. Do you know what I mean? It's all based around the mentality that is created based on what I choose to invest my time and attention into. So yeah. So back to the fact and the notion how I was making a point with me being, a water sign and my opposites being earth signs. Yeah, I tend to jive with people who are water signs or earth signs versus the other two who tend to jive better. And that goes along with the aesthetics that I have and the mentalities that come along with that and the lifestyle choices, so on and so forth. We all need something to connect our identities to, and I'm really big on like universalism. And when I really got like into the Gothic subculture, I found like a lot of profound healing and profound self-acceptance in that mentality within everything that surrounds the culture. So that's why I choose this way of being and lifestyle. And because it's just so universal, you know, black is like every color combined, so it's kind of why I love it so much. And yeah. So if we're making comparisons based on that, I could also compare it to something like, what was a really good one? I'd mentioned earlier how, yeah, like, why do people choose to use this platform over this one, or, you know, this aesthetic over this one? Because it has to connect to something that you personally appreciate or understand, if that makes sense. Everybody's different, and I could go on. It probably connects to so many more other really cool, intricate things that we could just like have a siesta about. So, oh, yeah, comparisons. Oh, I was going to mention how, so I've decided to use Patreon versus OnlyFans to create content on, and to like invest my energies into, based on the sole fact that it stands in line with mentalities that I carry, that I value and appreciate. So being as somebody who is like very old fashioned, you know, I'm into the occult, I love astrology, I love those ancient things that most people would consider, you know, pseudosciences or something that's like out of their sphere of influence or understanding. I have no idea. This is what I'm into. So basically, I prefer Patreon over OnlyFans due to the fact that it's a simple thing, such as the terminologies and the word usage they've decided to use to promote their brand and represent their label. And I don't want fans, I want patrons. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like something simple as that. Like, having the idea of something or someone being your fan sounds really egotistical, seems petty, it seems shallow, immature. Like, you know, I'd rather have investors and patrons, something that sounds mature, classy, and like original and gentle, not pushy, aggressive, and in your face. Kind of like the gangster rap hip hop cultures. Like, they're very aggressive, pushy, and in your face, but like in a very immature kind of way. Not getting down those people's throats. That's their mentality. That's their thing, right? I guess I just appreciate more evolved versions of terminologies and word usages. I like things that make things sound almost unattainable, because I appreciate depth and intricacies of, you know, something that's not easily within reach, because things that are within reach are cheap and not of high quality. But it has nothing to do with the price tag. It's all in your mentality. It's all in your, you know, your morals and code and that you have within yourself. So that's why I've decided to, you know, choose to invest my energies into things based on the sole fact of what the terms they use and how they pronounce things and stuff like that. Language is really interesting, and this year I've kind of been like delving into language and understanding different terms of why people say things, and it really does reflect in how people carry themselves and how they value themselves. So yeah, I thought that was cool to make the comparison with, you know, social media platforms, seeing as how this is a social media platform. And yeah, I connected it to the occult because that's my channel. It's kind of like occult oriented. So, and yeah, connecting it to, astrology, because that's one of my things I'm into. So yeah. And yeah, I don't know what else to really say other than those are my comparisons and why I choose things that I do based on my mentality.